Many Americans rely on online reviews to choose a business or a service. 82% of adults say they read online reviews at least some of the time. That's according to a Pew Research Center study. But posting a review could put you at risk of being sued. CTM consumer investigative correspondent Anna Werner is here with details on that. Anna, what do people need to know? A lot of people use this service.
Right, and Gayle, posting reviews is second nature for many people nowadays. When they have a bad experience with a business, up goes the review to share it with others. But for one man in Florida, what he thought was a simple review turned into a year-long battle in court.
I never thought I'd be sued over anything I write. There's no reason to say anything but the truth.
But Thomas Lloyd of DeLand, Florida, says telling the truth got him in trouble. His ordeal began when his 10-year-old poodle Rembrandt suddenly fell ill last year. Lloyd rushed him to nearby DeLand Animal Hospital, where he says he was told the dog needed immediate surgery for what was probably a ruptured spleen.
And I said, "You're going to do this right now?" And he said, "Yeah."
But 6 hours later, he says the clinic told him to come pick Rembrandt up, that they'd been unable to find a surgeon. He took the dog to a second clinic, but says he was told it was too late. Rembrandt would need to be euthanized.
It isn't like there's a closure. He deserved a chance, and they didn't give him a chance. If he had died on the operating table, I would have understood.
Afterwards, he posted a review on Yelp, writing the staff had wasted 6 hours of Rembrandt's life and destroyed whatever chance he may have had to live. Our Rembrandt deserved a better last day. Weeks later, DeLand Animal Hospital and veterinarian Thomas McPhail sued him for defamation, alleging Lloyd's statements were false and published maliciously and recklessly.
I'm finding out that isn't always cheap to give an honest review, because if the other person has money, they can drive you in the ground.
When we spoke with him in May, Lloyd owed $26,000 in legal bills, more than his yearly Social Security income. And he's not the only person who's been sued. Last year, a New York woman was sued by her doctor for $1 million for posting negative online reviews. A man in Kansas was sued over a 3-star TripAdvisor review of a theme park. And a South Carolina woman was sued by a restaurant she claimed refused to honor a coupon.
We're seeing a rise in individuals being sued for speaking out online.
Evan Muscagni works for the Public Participation Project and says many lawsuits are designed simply to intimidate. They're called SLAPP lawsuits, for strategic lawsuit against public participation.
A SLAPP filer doesn't go to court to seek justice. They are just trying to silence or harass or intimidate a critic of theirs.
Some states have laws against SLAPP lawsuits, but there's no federal anti-SLAPP statute. Earlier this year, the FTC began cracking down on businesses that put gag clauses in their consumer contracts in violation of the Consumer Review Fairness Act. FTC's Carl Settlemyer.
Why is it important enough that the government feels like, hey, we need to step in sometimes?
Well, the online review medium has really exploded over the past, decade or so, and people's reliance on and ability to learn from online reviews has really grown in proportion to that. People have stories to tell, and they're not able to get them out because they feel like they're, going to be threatened.
Thomas Lloyd stuck to his guns and countersued. Earlier this year, 2 former veterinarians from DeLand gave sworn affidavits saying even though they lacked experience doing the emergency surgery Lloyd's dog needed, veterinarian McPhail had declined to do the surgery and instead left for vacation. After the animal hospital's attorneys learned of our interview with Lloyd, the case was quickly settled.
They shouldn't be able to try to financially break somebody just because they don't like what you say.
DeLand Animal Hospital is now under new ownership. The new owners told us the lawsuit was filed prior to them taking over. Veterinarian McPhail is no longer working at the hospital. He did not respond to our repeated requests for comment for this story.
Oh, I so feel for Mr. Lloyd. You can still see his pain, and he's just really speaking from what happened in his own experience. He didn't strike me as a malicious man. So what can you put in an online review? You can't say anything negative?
Well, so here's the thing. What they'll tell you is stick to your own experience. Don't generalize and say, this pharmacy is the worst in history and it does this to all these people. Stick to your own experience.
Isn't that what he did, though?
Well, and yes, and that's the point, Gayle. Yeah. Even if you do that, that doesn't mean that somebody can't sue you. They can sue you if they want to sue you.
But isn't opinion protected? If you do say this is the worst pharmacy I've ever been to.
But if somebody sues you, you're going to have to go to court and say, it is my opinion and it is protected, potentially. Now, in some states, there are these laws, right? Anti-SLAPP laws, but the protections vary across the country. There's no federal statute to prevent these types of lawsuits. So depending on your state, you know, might not hurt. It gets into the weeds, but maybe you can go read about your own state's law.
God, wow.
Yeah,
I never thought I'd be saying that, but, you know, let the negative online reviewers have their day. I really feel like
their opinion.
You may win, but you end up spending a lot in legal fees.
Right, potentially.
Yeah. Anna, thank you very much.